Hey, all right, welcome back. This is part two with the walking legend Scot Mendelson on the Corey Maselli Show. Rap Fiend Radio represent Mendy, the new equipment that's going to blow the lid off powerlifting. And remember, you check us out on YouTube, thecoreymasellyshow.com. Scott, let's kick it back to you. The theme of this show is overcoming everything. What do you got for those pencil neck geeks out there, Mendelson?
You know what? I just got to tell you, never, ever quit. Because ain't nobody going to give you nothing. You know, you need to claw and fight and get what you want in this world. If you're not able to do that, you're going to lose out. And that's the bottom line.
Yeah, my boy Corey Akers posted up there, a warrior never quits, period.
Period.
Period. There you go.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Well,
I mean, you know, people out there, you know, I mean, it just depends. Everything in life is just about how much you're willing to suffer for it. You know, you see that new pair of shoes or that new car or whatever, and you want it bad enough, you'll do whatever it takes to get it. Well, it's like that with everything in life.
Yeah, I agree that 100%, man. I'll share this with you, Scott. One thing I'm personally working on with my Spotlight brand, and some really cool people I've met. We're looking at like bridging the music world and the strength training world to do some cool shit, and really motivate and encourage other people. I know it sounds kind of weird, but to me, like music and strength training have a lot of similarities, man. I grew up as kind of a troubled kid. I remember sitting in the bedroom, fucking banging my head on books just to get the frustration out. When I first found that weight room, it was like freaking heaven to me, man. So yeah, naturally dialed in songs that I like, got that, you know, released whatever the heck was in my body, and that combination of strength training with music, that high energy, that escape, man, it probably saved a lot of lives, including my own, you know?
Yeah.
So
it saved my life, I'll tell you that much.
Say it again?
It saved my life.
Yeah, 100%, man. So, like, what about, do you jam music when you lift, or are you just so channeled in what you do and you don't give a crap what's in the background?
I mean, honestly, I'm so focused that I don't listen to music to pump me up. And, you know, I mean, people freak out on me because, like, we'll be lifting and I'll be talking to somebody and they'll say, "What do you want?" And I'm like, "Throw 1150 on the bar." And I'll put my shirt on, they'll get it going, and I'll just do it. And they're like, "How the fuck do you do that?" I mean, I need music. I got to get in touch with myself. I got to make the link. And
What?
I'm just a psychotic in general. It's already there.
It's there.
You know what? I used to, when I first started competing, I would sit there and get so psyched out and just be like, rah. And by the time I hit the platform, it was gone. I was like, oh my God, I was like over revving myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
I learned to just channel my shit, close my eyes, relax, let my guys work on me, get me together, do whatever I need to do. And the first step that I put on that platform, it's nuclear.
Yeah, man, that instant on button.
Yeah, and it took me a long time to learn that. And a lot of people, you know, have a hard time dealing with that because they just trip out how I can do that. But, you know, I only have so much, and then there's nothing there. So I got to pick and choose my battles. You know what I mean?
Well, I remember reading this, Scott. I remember Constantine, the great deadlifter. Somebody asked him what he liked to do for his light workouts. I forget the exact question. They're saying, well, what do you do? What's your complement to the heavy duty training you do? Sit back and read poetry. Just kick back and just totally exert no energy. So when it's time to go, I can go all the way.
Yeah, 100%. You know,
so it's kind of the similar philosophy to what you just described.
Yeah. I mean, even in my warm-ups, I'll do 1 plate raw, 2 plates raw, 950.
I love it.
That's just my style. I don't waste time. And I learned that from Gary Frank. You know who Gary Frank is, right?
Scott, I'll tell you what, that really, Jose Garcia shared me the Gary Frank philosophy with me on my deadlifts. And I ended up having, you know, I hit 910 is my best competition deadlift. But the day I hit that lift, I hit 400, 600, boom, that's it. Same kind of thing. It took me a while to kind of learn that methodology, But man, I think for a high level world-class lifter, that is the way to go, because the more you can compress that energy, the more you're going to lift.
100%. You know,
Yeah.
I used to trip out. Gary would like deadlift and he'd go 2 wheels and then he'd go 900.
Boom. Yep.
I was like, okay. Me and Gary are real good friends. We don't talk all the time anymore, but I helped Gary get from a 738 to a 936 bench. He was 2610 total, and then I trained him and he went 2810.
Wow.
So, yeah. So he definitely, you know, and I'll tell you, I learned so much from that man. He learned from me, I learned from him. It was symbiotic, right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
But I never met a greater man in my life, man. He is the real deal. And I'll tell you, back in the day, he was 6'4", 410. He was just out there, man. You know, he'd grab 1,100 pounds in the squat out of a monolift and run backwards with it. Boom, boom, boom. It looked like he was going to drop it. First time I saw that, I was like, oh my God. And then he just stopped solid. I was like, whoa. So,
yeah, man. Like that, I mean, what you're talking about to me is even beyond the psychology, man. It's about like harnessing energy. And like, yeah, it's some next level shit. It's hard to put into words, but that's where I think a lot of the, dare I say, USAPL style lifters just do not comprehend what that energy grab is all about. And granted,
I think it's experience. I don't
yeah, I think so.
I mean, I think like if you've lifted a number of years, you learn the composition of your mind to muscle link up. And I think that, you know, that once you master that, then things are completely different.
Yeah, I agree. And I like, people talk about like training programs, and if you're not training your competitive edge, your program is a piece of shit.
You're right.
The competitive edge is everything, man. Mm-hmm. And so many young lifters have a hard time believing that. They think there's some like magical equation or something like that. But man, it's just when it comes down to it, it's getting nitty gritty and like finding out, you know, what are your guts they got able to do that day and building on it and moving forward with it. And
my whole thing is, I was outlifted one time in my life. And that's because my liftoff guy, that big guy Mo, he couldn't come to Russia to lift me off. He had a paper thing, you know, he was getting his papers again in the US. Yeah. So I used Kennelly's liftoff guy, and I opened with 1,000 pounds. And we warmed up, my ex-wife made sure everything was cool, treated him like family, everything was cool. And then when I went to go out there to lift, he wouldn't let his liftoff guy come out. And then we were in Ukraine. And the Ukrainian guys dropped 1,000 pounds on me. They couldn't get it off of me for 30 seconds.
Good.
And the rule is, if you miss, repeat. So I repeated, slammed it on the second one, and then I went 10:52 on a third, and then I went and put my hands in the chalk, and they put oil in the chalk.
Goodness gracious.
That taught me a valuable lesson. Always bring your own shit.
Bring your own shit.
Yeah. Period. And I never missed a groove after that. But that motherfucker, and I just had a podcast with him about 6 months ago.
Yeah.
That when I was on his podcast and he mentioned it, and I was like, you want to go there, motherfucker? You know? And then he was here about 3 months ago and I podcasted and we didn't go into it. But that's the only loss I ever had in my life, ever, in powerlifting. And I don't consider that a loss since you fucking cheated me. But and it's on my record. Like if you look it up, it shows that I took second place in Ukraine. And I was like, fuck, you know. But you know, I either I win or die. That's it.
Yeah, that's the attitude. Well, I'll tell you what, I have to sign off this. Matthias, you want to keep this interview rolling for the full length because the spaceship has landed outside. And like Megatron 6 is calling me, so I got to go take care of this.
That's a great, totally true story that I really believe, and the answer is yes.
Okay. Hey, Scott, much love, man. I really appreciate taking the time, but I got another commitment. I got these people waiting on me, so I've got to go.
No, you do your thing. I think we got through quite a bit. We got to do this again sometime.
Absolutely,
and Corey, absolute pleasure hanging out with you. And you need anything, you got my number, brother.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. Much respect and thank you so much, man.
You got
So
it,
you
man.
guys-
Hey, everybody out there, I love you guys. And on the 15th, I got Douglas Furchy, IFBB Pro Bodybuilder, on my podcast on the podium. And if you need to get a hold of me, Scot Mendelson. You can get a hold of me at mendysgym@gmail.com. You can go on my YouTube channel, the Scot Mendelson channel, or Scot Mendelson on IG, and DM me. Love you
If
guys.
you want some awesome entertainment, this YouTube Scot Menelson, kick ass shit out there. You'll have a good time just watching it. Guaranteed.
Hey, and give me a copy of that shit. I'll throw it on my YouTube for this also, if you'd like.
Boom. Got it.
All
All
right.
right.
Love you guys. We'll be in touch.
Peace. Thank you.
Peace.
Yeah, Corey.
All right.